Ostinatos, and today we're going to talk about the guitar styles of the Edge from U2. We'll just begin to scratch the surface of a player who has far too much depth to cover in just one sitting. What we will do is talk about some of his signature tricks that make him such an identifiable guitar player. We're going to talk about his use of delay, mostly the dotted eighth note setting, and we're also going to discuss his amazing rhythmic, melodic, and harmonic sensibilities. So our goal in this lesson is not to imitate the Edge, it's to take a few of his approaches and incorporate it in our own style. Let's get started. So now let's take a look at how to set up your delay pedal. Alright, first things first, we're going to talk about how to dial in your sound. The most key element to this sound is going to be delay. There's a few ways to make your delay work to its fullest potential. One is to set your amplifier up so it's clean to overdriven, not too dirty. Because the reason being is the more distorted you set your amplifier, the less you're going to be able to hear the delays. If you should want distortion, the best thing to do is to put a distortion pedal in front of it, and that will help out that issue. So what we have here is a very basic digital delay. And what it does is it takes your sound, it delays it, and then it repeats it. So the basic functions on this would be the echo, which sets the volume of each of the repeats. So that too, you can tell that the echo is actually louder than the attack. So you want to blend with that, then you have repeats. What that does is it sets up how many times the delay repeats. You can do it from 1 to pretty much infinite. And there you go. So these are functions. Also you have your tempo, which sets up the tempo of the delay, the time of the delay. And in this particular case, you have a tap tempo button, which is good for performing live because you can actually use that with your foot and tap the tempo so you can stay in time with your song. So there you have it. We're going to unlock the magic of the ever-elusive dotted eighth note setting. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is show you how to set your delay so that you can get the sound that we're after. The most common setting that everybody is after is what's referred to as a dotted eighth note. So what that means is that from the time that you attack the note on your guitar to the time that you hear the delay signal, it's going to be a dotted eighth note apart, or 3/16 notes. So there's a couple ways to achieve this. The easiest way is a lot of delays now have a setting for this actually. On this particular model, it has what's called a subdivision button. So with that subdivision button in and the tap tempo, all you have to do is tap in quarter notes to your tempo and it will dial that sound in for you exactly. So with a click track, always use a click track in this stuff because it'll give you a good reference point. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what's going to happen is I'm set to the tempo. 3, 4. And that delay sound comes in 3/16 notes later. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now we'll stop the click track. And let's say, assuming we don't have this subdivision knob, which is very helpful, especially if you're doing things live, but then we're just victim to the tempo knob. So again, with that tempo at 105, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, we want the delay to go like this. Da, da, 4, da, da. So that's the first 16th note and the last 16th note. So it takes a little bit of experimenting. So we're going to turn on the click track. So here's where we start. So it's way too long right now. Too short. Gotta kind of circle in on it. 4, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. Da, 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 da. Alright, so now you're set up and ready to go. A few other settings that you want on the delay though, in order to get the sound that I'm about to show you, is we can stop the click track. Is you want to set your echo relatively high so that the sound is almost as loud as your first your attack. So you see that first delay is almost as loud as your actual guitar sound. Then your repeats you want to set so they're not too long, maybe about 3 to 4 repeats. And you can hear them tail off. Okay, so now we're ready to figure out what to do in order to use this sound. Okay, so now we know how to get the delay set up. Now we got to figure out how to play along with it. This is what's actually the most tricky part, because this means that your timing and your rhythm playing has to be very accurate. So once again, with a click track, we're going to set up our sound. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's our sound with relatively loud echo, not so many repeats. We're going to take just an A triad, and what we're going for is this. Okay, so now we're going to stop the click track, and I'm going to break that down for you pretty slowly. What's happening there is my right hand is playing eighth notes while muting the strings on the guitar. So without the delay, it sounds like this. Now you put the delay in, and again we're going to use a click track so you always have a reference point. And again, I'm playing eighth notes on my right hand muted. 3, 4. Stop the click track. Now this is a great rhythmic trick that you can do, and that's a big part to what it is that we're trying to achieve here today. A few other things that you can do with this delay sound is you can play ambient. We're going to start the click track again, where it's just basically just playing big chords. 2, 3, 4. This delay setting is now we can play 16th notes with our right hand and create a different relationship between the guitar and the delay. So that would be this. Again, with the click track, your right hand is going to play muted 16th notes. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to stop the click track, and I'm going to show you how we do that. Essentially what's happening there is I'm just playing 16th notes with my right hand, and I'm using the delay to create accents. So just without the delay, all I'm doing is this. So I'm the timekeeper now. Now what this requires you to do is really pay attention and really listen to the time and the time that's dictated by the delay. Alright, so with the same approach with the right hand, the 16th notes, we can do some tricks with our left hand which will trigger the delay to give us some cool subdivisions of the beat, and it's a really nice effect. So with the click track, make sure we're in time. 16th notes muted on the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now so if you hear there, we cut the click track off, you can hear what's happening is that the delay is taking the stabs or the staccato rhythms that I'm playing with my left hand and creating subdivisions of the beat to get some really cool rhythms. So just very slowly what I'm doing without the delay. Then with the delay, you'll hear the effect. Click track. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's another little cool trick that you can do to interact with the delay. And again, we're going to use this 16th note type of rhythm, and we're going to mute the strings, so we're kind of at a low dynamic. Here's how this sounds. Let's do it with a click track. 2, 3, 4. So now what I'm doing very slowly without the click track and without the delay, I'm just taking this chord voicing, I'm keeping a pedal tone on the A, and I'm playing 16th notes. And then as I pick out some of the notes in the chords, what'll happen is the delay will pick up those notes and they'll chime out and they'll create a nice little bed. So with the delay and with the click track, 2, 3, 4. So the important thing to remember about all of these tricks is do it with a click track, play in time, and experiment with different ways of accenting the rhythms and different rhythms to interact with the delay. And that's a huge part of this sound. So now we're going to take this delay setting and I'm going to show you some chord voicings up and down the neck that help you to get that signature sound. In the first position, A9 is a great chord to grab, then D9. And you can add, you can take melody notes, like make that a D7, and that weaves you back to the A. Up in the fifth position, this A triad. Now if you notice, what's happening in a lot of these chords is we're getting droney open strings, which creates part of this effect, especially along with the delay. So for your A chord, then for the D chord, or you can just play an A sus and that'll work for the D chord. And you have a lot of melody notes accessible to you as well. Moving up the neck, your A triad right here, with your melody notes around here, and then this voicing of the sus chord. Further up now, you can hear the delay, the little the rhythms of the delay sneak in there too. So we've got that A, there's your A sus, you put your third finger down and you're building a D chord. And then all the way up top, there's your A. One note down gives you your D chord. So combining all of those together with the different rhythmic and the different delay tricks is a lot you can do. All right, so now we're going to take these chords and we're going to combine it with our delay trick. does is he takes these chordal rhythmic patterns that repeat themselves, that work well through all of the chord changes. So now I'm going to show you how to create a little looping rhythmic melodic riff, also known as an ostinato. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this A triad and I'm going to finger it with these 3 fingers so that I can lift up my 3rd finger and create melodic motion with my 1st finger. So my pattern is going to be, and the pattern is going to remain consistent through the chord changes. So every time the chord changes underneath you, the notes are going to take on a different characteristic and are going to give a very cool effect. So here's my rhythm. So now with the delay and with the backing track, you get this effect. Tapped into a few of the tricks that give the Edge his signature sound. Hopefully you can take these and incorporate them in your own style. Now I'm going to do just that and play it out with a backing track.